Disney's Lilo & Stitch has finally landed on Disney+. Now you can watch the global phenomenon at home with your Ohana.
Be good for 1 second.
Lilo & Stitch is verified hot on Rotten Tomatoes with an audience score of 93%.
Perfect.
Stitch is also cute and fluffy.
Disney's Lilo & Stitch, rated PG, now streaming on Disney+. And right now, you can get Disney+, Hulu, and all of ESPN with an incredible limited-time offer. Terms apply.
Hey, the vibes are slipping. I think it's time to bring out the Velveeta shells and cheese. The holidays are a time to go all in on indulgence. Headline your meals with the rich, creamy meltiness of Velveeta shells and cheese and satisfy your holiday cravings like no other. Bring that main course energy to your side dish. Celebrate extra with Velveeta these holidays.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Joe Diaz, a FAR co-founder, and welcome to View from Afar, a podcast that spotlights the people and the ideas shaping the future of travel. In this special series, I'm coming to you live from ILTM, one of the most important travel shows that happens every year. ILTM stands for the International Luxury Travel Market, and the show takes place in a fittingly luxurious city, Cannes, France. The conversations that happen here influence how we think about travel for years to come. Afar editor-in-chief Julia Cosgrove and I sat down with leaders across the travel industry, from visionary hoteliers to destination innovators, to discuss the trends, challenges, and ideas that are driving hospitality forward. We want to understand what truly motivates these leaders, how their personal stories, values, and visions shape the experiences they create for travelers. Be sure to follow the show to hear all our conversations from ILTM. In this episode, I'm sitting down with Hermann Elger, CEO of the Forbes Travel Guide. When Hermann joined Forbes in 2022, he brought with him a deep relationship with the hospitality industry. Hermann followed his father into the hotel industry, working his way up from doorman to GM at five-star properties across North America to Chief Operating Officer of Baccarat Hotels and Resorts. In fact, he helped the Baccarat New York earn its first 5-star Forbes Travel Guide 5-star award in 2018. Under his leadership, the Forbes Travel Guide launched new rating systems, including the first global rating system for cruise ships and, in 2024, the inaugural Verified Air Travel Awards, both of which we'll hear about today. Hermann, thanks for joining us. Super excited to have you here. Big fans of Forbes Travel Guide and Forbes 5-star. You were born into a hospitality family and you've grown up and made a career out of the industry. I'm curious, how have you seen luxury hospitality evolve in recent years?
Thanks, Joe. Well, first of all, it's great to be here in the Afar apartment in Cannes. So many great memories over the years of, looking out and connecting with colleagues. So thanks for the invite to be here. I'm often asked that question, and I think back, and yes, I'm the second generation hotelier, fortunate to have grown up in hotels and seen them run firsthand and seen how they've evolved. But I think probably the biggest evolution in my mind is the scale of how many luxury properties are available now, just how broad that segment has become, benefiting the traveler, of course, right? Being able to travel more places, stay more places, and have more amazing experiences.
How would you put your finger on what luxury means in today's world?
I don't think I'd be the first one to say that luxury may be an overused term. When we talk about, I'd like to refer to hotels as luxurious versus luxury, which can cover so many things in so many different segments. But I break it down to more offerings, better at offering luxurious stays, better at fine-tuning the details you get through that, and better at being able to offer more things to more people that are more kind of niche. Your luxury offering is not a one-stop shop luxury experience in a city, for example. There are options now. And I think that's great.
So you famously stated that the Forbes ratings are not bought or given, but they're earned. And why do you think this kind of independent, anonymous, human rating is so essential at this particular moment in time? And how do you keep those reviewers anonymous in such a time of, public age?
Sure. The keeping of the reviewers anonymous is certainly a task and something that we take very seriously. The integrity of the rating guide is something that we hold above all in terms of the ethos or the importance of why we are the stewards of a rating guide who has been around since 1958. We take this very seriously. I, as the CEO, am not able to access the results from the ratings inspections until they are announced. And that's by design. The integrity around that rating process is very important. Now, that's not to say that within our organization, we don't have tools that can help you be better and help service-driven companies deliver better service. And if you do that, it would follow that since those products are very good, you're going to deliver better service, hence potentially a better outcome to your rating. But there is no way to manipulate that ratings outcome, and the integrity around that process and the fact that it's been managed by our president of ratings, Amanda Frazier, for nearly 20 years is something that really will stand up to any scrutiny, I would say. And that's something that anyone who carries that rating at the recommended level, the 4-star, the 5-star level, can be very proud of. And just one other thing I'd like to mention on that point is that the rating guide is an integrity-based rating guide, but the real story behind the rating guide are the standards by which we inspect. And those standards are created by the Standards Advisory Committee. These are 24 individuals who are very renowned professionals in hospitality who convene 4 times a year to determine what the standards are by which the rating guide operates. And so the standards by which we inspect are not mine, they're not Amanda's, they're the voice of the industry and the voice of the client. And so anyone who works with these standards is saying, this is what the client's expecting, this is what the industry's expecting, and we need to look at those and then hopefully perform well against them and get a great rating.
I'm glad you brought up the point of standards. I mean, there's so many awards. Ultimately, it does really come down to those standards that are the foundation of why you're giving the ratings you're given and why the hotels are really earning the ratings. And by the way, it's beyond hotels, right?
Sure. We now rate hotels, restaurants, spas. We also work with cruise lines and just announced river cruise. So, and to that point, the cruise industry also has their Standards Advisory Committee who convenes 24 highly renowned professionals across the industry who convene to determine what are those standards by which the Forbes Travel Guide is going to measure quality on the high seas.
Talk to us a little bit about how the ratings have evolved to capture things that travelers today hold more dear, things like cultural authenticity, regenerative practices, transformative experiences that can't really be measured in a quantitative kind of way. How do you and the team work to try to evolve the standards to really meet the moment?
Sure. Well, within those standards, only 25% are directly related to the facility, and the other 75% are related to the service and the experience. We like to say those standards, they tend to evolve 3 to 5% over the course of each year. And it may not be a big change in the standards year over year, but if you were to look back at them, again, we've been stewards of the rating guide since 1958. So if you look back at those standards now, don't look back 1 year, but look back 5, 10 years, they tend to be quite different. And if you go back into the 80s or 70s, and we have some funny stories of what was relevant then and no longer is now. So I don't think you're going to see any game-changing references to the standards year over year, but over time, they certainly evolve, and they are what the client is looking for. They are what drive the value proposition in luxury. They are what is relevant to travelers these days. And I think that's a very important distinction.
Abercrombie Kids is bringing the cheer all holiday season and the gifts too. No matter how long their wish list is, there's always room for just one more. Whether it's a new winter coat, an extra pair of jeans, or cozy matching sweat sets, get gifting with looks they've been waiting for all year. Shop Abercrombie Kids in the app, online, and in stores.
Here's my 30-second story with Guinness. As soon as my sister and I get home for the holidays, we don't even unpack. We head straight to our pub. The bartender already knows our order, Guinness and fries. We laugh all night, catch up with old friends, and walk home with faces sore from smiling. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. That was my 30-second story with Guinness.
Guinness Draft Stout. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by Diageo Beer Company, USA, New York, New York.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee. Swimsuit, passport, phone, with VPN activated.
VPN?
Cell phone service is going to be spotty on vacation, so we'll be using public Wi-Fi.
Sounds sketchy.
Exactly. The networks can leave your personal info, like credit card numbers, exposed to hackers.
McAfee's secure VPN lets you browse and bank safely from wherever, whenever. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
In recent years, you've debuted new rating systems, including bringing a more discerning eye to air travel with the Forbes Verified Air Travel Awards. What's bringing about this expansion? And you mentioned river cruise. So what are things that are on your radar and coming up next?
Yeah, so to clarify how that all works, the Forbes Travel Guide has a star rating system, again, around since 1958, and that's the rating system used for hotels, spas, restaurants, cruise lines. Then, over the last 2 years, we've launched other announcements throughout the year. We launched the Air Travel Awards, which you're right, voted on by the most traveled people in the world, focusing on the best in air travel. We also launched the Edge List, a list dedicated to travel spots off the beaten path. We launched the Star Bars, which are the best bars in the world located within hotels, which we like to emphasize. And then this year we launched in December the Icons List. And the Icons List is just a remarkable, fun list, which I love the fact that it comes out during the holidays because it's hotels who have carried the same name for at least 100 years and also carry a 5-star ranking. So if you want to talk about a bucket list, the Icons List is just a remarkable collection of hotels around the world.
So maybe give us a couple examples of these icon hotels who have been around for over 100 years and have carried the same name and the same brand.
Oh, the Icons List, the ultimate bucket list of traveler. Yeah, let's see. As I think through the list, some that just jump out right away. The Ritz in Paris, for example. That's a perfect example. Legacy, established for so many years, and even after all these years, continues to operate at the ultimate highest level. The St. Regis, New York is another great example of that. And then you've got the one who's been around the longest in terms of their star rating, which is the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs. So 3 examples, but many more to visit. Spectacular properties, all of them.
Well, thanks for adding a couple more to my bucket list. So 2026 will bring the 68th Forbes Travel Guide Star Awards. So pull back the curtain for us a little bit. What does it really take to create these lists and get to that moment?
It is a ton of work. First of all, these hotels are all visited a minimum of 1 time, some up to 4 times, independent, incognito, 2-night overnight inspection. Data generated through evaluators is passed to a ratings team. That is analyzed for consistency across previous inspections. And then that is passed on to another division of the ratings team for analysis. Finally comes out with the final list, which is announced in February. We now announce it in Monaco at the annual summit. And it's just a great time of the year to celebrate. Nearly 100 countries are covered now with our rating guide, and we're just very proud of the fact that those standards that I talked about are a measurement used throughout the world. And the beneficiary is the traveler, knowing that when they select a hotel that's rated at either the recommended 4-star or 5-star level, they're getting a level of consistency and commitment that really cannot be measured another way. So we're very excited about that.
And what do you wish today's traveler knows about Forbes 5-star, the rating system that they might not know today, or that's just a challenge to get through to them?
Well, I think, there's no need to dig so deep into necessarily if you're a traveler. But I think the important thing is to be able to recognize that, you have a lot of choices, a lot of phenomenal luxury brands out there, and a lot of great ways that the marketing and storytelling is told. But you have this one basis of truth, which is the Forbes Travel Guide, which at the end of the day, you can refer to that to be sure that, hey, we're digging really deep in the pocket. We're going to spend a lot on this vacation, and it's a 5-star rated property. You can have real confidence in that buying decision. Or maybe you say, you know what? We're looking to go somewhere. We're looking for a different experience. And in this destination, I see that there are 4-star rated hotels. Complete confidence that that's rare earth. And then the recommended properties, again, phenomenal properties around the world, but just have that confidence in knowing that when you see that star rating on that property, you're making a good choice.
You travel a ton. You're always on the road. So you get to see a lot of things. You turned me on to some destinations that weren't on my radar that blew my mind in terms of quality of hotels, like in Macau. What right now is blowing your mind in the space?
Well, you're right. I remember we talked about Macau, and I think the way they were able to push the levels of quality and creativity and luxury is really remarkable. I'm a big fan of the destinations less traveled. That's why we launched the Edge List. These are properties that you can go to, and they may not be in the more established, but you can, again, have confidence in those. I like anywhere that is really trying to push the envelope and create something new and special, authentic, really relevant. But at the end of the day, is really driven and based in that foundation of great service. Really taking care of the client is the most important.
Thanks for joining us for this special episode of View from Afar, recorded live at ILTM in Cannes. In the show notes, you'll find links to everything we discussed today, as well as the website and social media handles for the Forbes Travel Guide. And be sure to follow along this week to hear more interviews with industry experts. You can find more Views from Afar on afar.com, and be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We're at Afar Media. If you've enjoyed today's exploration, I hope you'll come back for more great interviews. Subscribing always makes that easy. And be sure to rate and review the show on your favorite podcast platform. It helps other travelers find it. This has been View from Afar, a production of Afar Media. The podcast is produced by Aislinn Green and Nikki Gotland, with assistance from Jen Flowers, Julia Cosgrove, and Joe Diaz. Music composition from Epidemic Sound. This podcast is part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. Visit airwavemedia.com to listen and subscribe to their other fine shows like Culture Kids and the Explorers Podcast.